Hey folks, TCG here, and today we have a One Piece card game OP02 matchup. We have two pretty high up, if not both tier 1 decks here. On the left we have Zoro from set 1, I'm playing that, and on the right we have Joe from Locals playing the Edward Newgate, so the Whitebeard leader. And yeah, we're rolling off formula to see who's gonna go first here. You do get to choose after the dice roll, which is really nice. I'm gonna choose to go first on the left using the Zoro. It is to an advantage usually for me playing Zoro to go first because I can drop a Nami, and that is definitely what I want to do. Look at my hand, I don't have a Dadan and I don't have a Nami, so I'm going to go ahead and mulligan. They're two cards that I hard mulligan for. Joe on the right playing the Whitebeard is going to keep his hand, so he's pretty happy with that. Going first in this matchup is a little bit weird. You mentally want to give Whitebeard the go first because they're going to self-damage, but then there's the turnaround that if you do give them the go first, they're going to get reached 9 done sooner. And once they reach 9 done, you get to see the big Whitebeard come out, and that's going to stop that self-damage, and yeah, that's when a world of pain happens in this matchup for us. So you can see in my hand here, I don't have a Nami or a Dadan, I have 2 Brooks, a Jet Pistol, and 2 9-drop Whitebeards, which definitely isn't ideal, but my mindset towards this matchup is less I'm going to be super Zoro aggro, and more I'm just going to try and stockpile my hand. We see Joe play a Nami here on the right, which is, yeah, just great value for Whitebeard, and he gets to add a Radical Beam, the 1-drop here, event card, which is, yeah, just a super good for him defensively. Yeah, crazy good. Joe does forget to take a life here, but he remembers later on, so that's not something that we need to worry about here. I open my 2 Don and then throw a Don underneath Zoro, which I have to do because Whitebeard is 6, and here, as mentioned, Joe remembers to take that life, so yeah, definitely no issues caused there. And then I did draw a Dadan for turn, which is pretty lucky because it's going to let me look at the top 5, and I get to add a card from among them that is a 1-drop red, only red, to my hand, so I go ahead and take the Otome here. I did have the option for Sunikun, but as I said, because Whitebeard is already on somewhat of a countdown, my plan is to just swing with leader a bunch of times, and make sure that he's self-damaging himself until he goes down to 0, and then I can just big whack into him when he's on 0 and try and force out his hand and hope he doesn't draw enough. I'm going to see Joe go to 4 Don here and then play the other Nami, which allows him to give a rested Don to a unit, which is great. He gives it to Newgate and swings at leader for 7. He then plays 3 to play the starter deck Zoro. This is a card that has been running around a little bit more, but Joe has been testing the spice, and it definitely is spicy. If you don't know what it does, its ability is simply X1 Don, gain 1k, and that's on both players' turns. So you get a 7k beat stick and a 6k on the crackback, so it's a 6k defensive, and it's just, yeah, a body that's hard to remove for quite a few decks in the meta. So yeah, pretty nice to have for him. And he's, you know, doing kind of what Whitebeard wants to do at this early stage, is consolidating a board here. He's building his hand. I'm looking at my hand here, I've drew Nami for turn, which is nice, and at this point I'm just deciding, okay, I have the Gordon, do I want to try and get rid of that Zoro, because I know it's going to be an issue for me. I'm going to go ahead and play the Nami here, and I grab the Zoro Rush, the Rush Zoro. This card's just pretty good in the matchup. Later on, when I'm trying to add pressure and stuff, it's going to be important, or using it to swing into my opponent's cards is going to be, yeah, again, important as mentioned. So I put the Zoro up to 6k by adding a Don underneath it. Again, I have to do this because Edward Newgate is a 6k base, which is not nice to face in the matchup. Joe goes ahead and drops a Sanji for plus 2k, and then I swing with Dadan with 3 Don under, which makes it a 7k because of Zoro's ability. Now, Joe dropping the Sanji here is kind of a shout in my mind to be like, okay, maybe he's actually struggling for 1ks in his hand, so I keep that in my mind. So yeah, that's just, again, something that I'm trying to highlight here. At that point, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I need to have smaller attacks going in and doing some issues. Joe's going to pay 3 and play another Zoro here, which, yeah, is painful for me to see. He has a lot of things out on his board right now, which is a lot of pressure, but I do have a big hand. Joe goes ahead and swings for 7k at my Dadan, and if I protect my rested units, realistically the only thing I ever potentially try and protect is either Zoro or a Big Eddie. He then swings with the Newgate using the Nami effect, which is, yeah, giving it +1 Don, so swings for 7. I take that. Going down to 3 is kind of a comfortable place. I'm happy at 3. I feel like I can defend a lot against whatever is going to happen, and my hand is quite big. I also do have 2 Big Eddies in my hand, as I mentioned, so that is something that's on my mind here. So mentally, decision wise, I'm thinking I want to clear up these Zoros. They're being problematic. I do have a jet pistol in my hand, so I can deal with the other one. So I'm trying to bait out anything from his hand, basically, so that I can destroy the rested Zoro. I really want to be able to KO the rested one and then jet pistol the stud one, because again, at this point he's only at 1 life, so anything I attack at his face, he just can comfortably take. So I'm going to go ahead here, pay 1 to play Gordon. Now, the reason I played a Gordon here is simply because, 1, I want it to be easier to attack, and 2, it's kind of just deck card my hand in this matchup. He's not going to play anything ridiculously big that I'm going to want to be able to counter down to, unless, like, I don't want to play Gordon or Tama and then into a jet pistol to clear one of his big eddies, because that's a 3-card combo to deal with a 1-card combo that he could just repeat and play again. So I've reduced the Gordon. With the Gordon, and we're going to see here, we've got a Radical Beam here, which is going to give, I think it is 4k it gives, and then he drops a 2k Brook. We're happy with this, because, again, we have a jet pistol to deal with the other one, which is what we do. And he's just dropped, like 6k worth of stuff, which is important for us, because from next turn on, we're going to be trying to just, like, punch him in the head. Because I did reduce that Zoro, I'm able to actually swing with Nami into the Zoro, because it's got minus power, and Nami gains +1 power from my Roronoa Zoro ability. We're going to go ahead and see Joe go to 9 here, I believe. Quick maths, no, 8. It must be 8 because he went second. Which is usually a weird situation for Newgate. He goes ahead, swings his on-plane Nami into my Nami. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not trying to protect that. I'm trying to keep my cards in hand to survive, because I'm going to need to later, and my hand is pretty big and nice for that. We're going to go ahead and see Joe play 3 Don to play another starter deck Zoro, and then we see a really nice combo here with the main effect Nami to give a rested Don to the Zoro, making its own ability go off, and it just have more power. So he swings at 7 with Zoro at life. I'm comfortable in taking this. Again, 3 or 2 is usually where I'm at. He swings 6 into my 5, so anytime there's like a really easy 1-card block, mentally, as long as I'm not strapped for resources, I'm gonna stop that. So I drop a Makino here to protect against that Newgate. He taps 3, and then he's gonna play a Rush Zoro, which is gonna swing 5 into my 5. Again, like I said, if it's a 1-card protect that I can do, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I drop a Sunikun for 1k here. Again, in this matchup, I'm really not trying to build on my board. I'm just trying to survive and whittle them down so that I can just smack everything underneath my Zoro. So my hand's big and I'm feeling comfortable, so I'm just going to put all 9 Don underneath my Zoro and swing at Whitebeard here for 14k. Again, we've seen Joe drop a lot of resources, so my mindset is just like, okay, I don't necessarily think I'm going to win this turn, but as long as I can survive next turn, I'm going to be able to get him on the crackback here. So he plays 2 event cards here, which is just going to give him a buck ton of power, and then drops a Brook here. His hand is looking dwindled, but I have a lot of cards in hand, but he has a lot of cards in field and a lot of potential attacks coming at me. But this is why I protected myself early with some of those little attacks. We're going to see Joe add a Don underneath his Zoro. I go ahead and block this with a Dadan and a Brook for 3k, so it makes me 8 against his 7. He's going to add 1 underneath his Newgate, which is going to swing for 7 again here. Because he's using more Don, I feel comfortable taking that one. I've still got 1 life, and his Nami and his other Nami are a bit weird. I am in a weird situation with my hand where I'm like, okay, so if he splits this well enough, I might actually need whatever cards in my life here to be at least a +1. But I'm just calm and I'm thinking about it. Joe's just thinking about what to do with this split here. It's a bit of a weird situation, as I said, for him, because in this turn he's not really looking to play cards from his hand, so he's not going to get like the value from his Nami that he's got up there, because he'd have to play something for that to be the case. We can see that he's got the Luffy in his hand here, so he can get another attack out here if he wants to. So he swings first with the Zoro for 5k, and I have to drop a Brook here. I don't have any 1ks, so that should be like an answer to him and kind of reveals that I'm in a bit of a sticky situation. So I think you can see in my hand I have 2ks here, and he swings for 7k at Zoro, so I have to drop both here if I want to stop this. And that'll put it in a situation where if he wants to go 3 on Nami and then 4 on the other Nami, then he's got 2 attacks. And unless I get a 5k, that would thingy it. So I block here, and I don't know if blocking here is the right thing to do, I'll be honest. Maybe, because how many does he have open? 7 under Nami. Yeah. No, I think blocking's right, because otherwise he'd just slam everything on the 2k Nami and swing for 9, and I'd just lose. So we say him tap 5 here, play the Roosh Luffy, and now he's able to use the Nami ability, and then he swings at life. I still have that 1 life because I've kept it. So he swings at life for 9. I take it. I'm going to get on my done and then just whack him in the head for 15, and he can't protect that. So it was a good game. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and peace.